Hey YouTube, it's Justin with Alternative Drummer. I'm here with an update today on the Simmons SD1250. I received this kit about 6 months ago from Simmons. They provided it for free, but I did give an honest review of it. And at the time, I thought it was a pretty darn good kit for the money. And I just wanted to give you all an update after about 6 months, if I still think it's worth the money and if it's worth buying or not in 2022. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so overall, the kit has held up very nicely. I've not had a single problem with it as far as anything breaking or anything like that. One thing I do want to mention though is the bass drum pad, as you can see here, has a little bit of wear and tear on it, especially on the right side. I was using a double bass drum pedal with it, but I'm not anymore. And most of the wear and tear happened while I was using the Silent Strike tennis ball type beaters. So I don't think that it's a good idea to use those kind of beaters on this particular drum pad. It's kind of like a mesh, foam mesh combination surface. And for some reason, the round ball hitting that over and over again seems to do more damage than just having a regular plastic beater on there. So I recommend using a standard plastic beater. The bass drum trigger actually seems to improve with age. When you first get these things, they're like insanely sensitive, and you kind of have to turn down the sensitivity quite a bit. But after they break in, then they seem to work a little bit better. The snare drum, I would say, is like that as well. It seemed like it kind of had like a breaking in period, and now it seems to trigger like really, really good. In the beginning, it wasn't bad, but it just seemed a little bit weird at times with like the sensitivity, especially with ghost notes and the hot spotting in the middle. But as I played it and like it's been in here longer, it seems to be working a little bit better than it did. Also, just to give you guys some idea as to how this kit is being used, I have this in my teaching studio and I have about 25 to 30 kids playing on this thing every week. So it's definitely getting put to use and kind of, put to the test because a lot of the drummers are young kids, and they haven't really been playing very long and they kind of hit unruly a little bit. So it's definitely holding up as far as that goes. All right, let's talk about the module a bit. Now the module, it's fairly decent. Like it has some things that I really like as far as features, one of them being the Bluetooth MIDI. I like the fact that it has a dedicated volume knob for the aux input on the back. I also like the fact that it has a lot of sounds built into it. I especially like the vintage Simmons sounds, the like 80s sounding synth drums. I think those are really cool. And it's got a few really decent internal kits. Like this one I really like a lot. It's called Rock Fusion. And I use that almost all the time with all my students. And the students have a lot of fun playing with some of the crazier sounds in there too. Some of the, world sounds and more extreme sounding, electronic sounds and stuff like that. Nails is one that's pretty popular with the kids. Now, the things that I'm not crazy about are the songs. The built-in songs on this module I think are terrible. There's only like 2 or 3, and they're just not good. But you can play your own songs via USB, and you can always plug things into the aux input in the back. So it's really not a deal breaker as far as that goes. The other thing I'm not crazy about are the faders. I know a lot of people like having faders on drum modules, but to me these faders are just not really that useful. The main reason is it's very easy to mess up the mix, especially in a teaching situation. Like the first thing the kids want to do is just go over here and start messing with these faders. And the fact that there's a filter and tuning and shape and high and low EQ all on there, as well as level adjustments, and having to change that through this button right here. I'm just not crazy about it. I would rather just set up a mix and have it be there and not really be able to change so easily. But that's my personal opinion. Some people might actually like that. Another thing that I've noticed is, say you want to create a custom kit and you want 2 cymbals on the same crash, with the different zones, there doesn't seem to be a way to adjust those levels independently like you can on a Roland module. This isn't like a terrible thing, but it would be nice to just have a little bit more editing features. But overall, it's a very good module for what it is. Considering the price of this drum set, especially now, I've been seeing them on sale for $875, which is crazy cheap for the amount of drums you get and for the quality of these drums. So I think the cymbals feel really good on this drum set. I like the tom pads. I like the sizes. I like the kick drum trigger, actually. It feels really nice. Like I said, once it breaks in, it feels actually quite good. And in fact, I just ordered another kick trigger like that for my drum set at home from Guitar Center because I really like this trigger. I love the ride cymbal, the fact that it's a 3-zone ride and it's pretty big. I haven't had any problems with it. I like the fact that it uses one cable. I like the drum rack. It's nice and sturdy and solid, and it comes mostly put together when you get it. One of my complaints was when I first got the kit was these two stands are kind of attached to the corners of the rack, and you can't really position them, very differently. They just are where they are. You could remedy this by getting some boom arms and sticking them in there, which would be cool. But it's, you get used to them. I actually like it better with the ride right here, and then I put Crash 2 over here. When I first set it up, I had it the opposite way. I had my ride here and the Crash here, and having 2 crashes in front. But now that I got it used to it this way, and the kids seem to like it better this way too, with the ride in the middle and the 2 crashes on the sides. The hi-hat pedal is nice. The snare stand is nice. And like I said, I haven't had any problems. Like nothing has broken. Everything's working exactly as good as it was 6 months ago. And it still holds up. It's a nice kit. For the money, I think you really can't beat the deal. If you want like a big electronic drum set. Oh, and I forgot to mention too, the wireless MIDI is just fantastic. Being able to do that and connect to your iPad and hook up GarageBand. You might have seen the Dua Lipa remix cover I did on my channel. If not, check that out. I'll post a link down below where I use the internal sounds in GarageBand. And then it also has a standard USB MIDI output as well. And that's also really nice. So, this thing, for the money, I really don't think you can beat it. The SD1250 is a fantastic drum kit. You really can't get anything like this by any other company for less than $1,000 or less than $2,000 with a lot of them. But it's really nice. So anyway, I still recommend it. 6-month update. I think it's a really good kit. And thanks for watching.